Hi everyone, I am Jeannie Nielsen. On Facebook and YouTube, you can find me as Jeannie Nielsen, the Card Lady. I am going to introduce you to another great suite from the annual catalog, May 2021 to April 2022. I'm working in conjunction with my upline, Marilyn San Clemente, and my sideline, Kathy Bedell, to show you some of the fabulous suites and ways you can use them and demonstrate them in your classes, for cards that you make for your friends, just sharing the love of stamping that we all have. So on page 112 and 113, we have the Sweet Symmetry suite. What I really like about this is that it looks very Scandinavian. And because my husband is Danish, I was immediately drawn to this suite. I love the colors that are in the designer papers: Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Flirty Flamingo, Night of Navy, and Just Jade. And I'm going to show you a couple of cards that I've made with that, and we're going to make one card in particular using the Night of Navy. This stamp set has some great sentiments, and it has some really classic Scandinavian looking images, and they're very easy to use. Besides this stamp set, it comes with this matching punch. This would be probably a border punch. You've got the stems that go in either direction, and you can punch them out like they did here on this page using the designer paper or all different colors. Let me show you a tool I made to demonstrate this suite. Right here, I put together a little sampler of the designer paper. This is the front and back of every pattern. It's 12 sheets of 12 by 12 designer paper. And I cut them into 2-inch squares just to show you the pattern very quickly. These are the colors that it says are in there. You could probably add others. Petal Pink would probably be pulled out very easily. You're going to find the colors on the page that describe the suite, like I told you, or on the back of the package. It gives you some suggestions, but just don't be limited. Here we have a sampler that I made. This is to show you that in there we've got the punch. When I have my stamp set, because it has a matching punch, I'll put a piece of blue washi tape around my edge. These are a little bit bigger pieces of the designer paper again, not necessarily front and back, but just to show you the different colors. And then I cut out the sentiments, and these die cuts are not part of the suite, but I wanted to show you different ways that you could use it. Another part of the suite, though, is this Flirty Flamingo Gold ribbon. And it's really, really pretty and really easy to tie. Has that great sparkle that we all love, too. So let me show you this card that we're going to make, show you how easy it is to line this up. There isn't a punch or die cuts to cut these out, but because these are so linear, it's really easy to cut them out. What we're going to do is we have our Stampin' Pad here, and I've got my basic white and my Night of Navy cardstock, and I'm using this designer paper, which is the navy. I think navy and white is so classic looking, so I like to put those colors together quite a bit. And I think another reason why I'm drawn to that is the blue and white is because my husband is Danish, but I am Dutch, so I like the Delft blue. I'm going to start with the sentiment at the bottom because I don't know, when I initially made this card, I didn't put the sentiment there. So I'm going to put my sentiment here. I'm going to stamp it at the bottom. Hey friend, what a great sentiment. Move that off to the side. The next thing I'm going to do is my stem. We'll just put that right there. Over top, I'm going to do my flower next. And I could have done a tulip, but I'm going to do this regular round flower. And I'm going to line that up right at the top of the stem, just like that. If you wanted to, you could probably use a marker and color this with different colors, pinks and yellows. Oh yes, and let me stamp just the leaves. I tried stamping the leaves at the bottom. It looks really ridiculous. You kind of need to line up your leaves with the middle. The stem is really long, so it just doesn't work for some reason. So the next thing I'm going to do is just build the card. So I've got my glue. I'm going to first attach this to my mat of Night of Navy. And this is just a 1/4 inch larger, which makes it an 1/8 inch on each side. This 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 for the mat. Next, what I'm going to do is set this aside for a second. I'm going to add my designer paper to my Whisper White. Okay, I have this white ribbon, which has stayed around. It's the only white ribbon that has stayed around. I really, really love the white ribbons because you can even use your blends to color it if you wanted to. If I wanted to, I could use my Night of Navy blend and color this, but I think that would be a little bit too dark. So I'm just going to tie a simple bow, and this ribbon ties very easily. So cut my tails a little bit shorter, right off to the side. And what I'm going to do is move that down, and I've got my dimensionals. And what I'm going to do is attach this with my dimensionals to my card. Just like that. I always put one in the middle. If you don't want to take off all the backs, you don't have to take it off the middle one. It's really just so that it doesn't sink in and move things around. But you know what? I'm going to use this to hold my ribbon in place. So we're going to go like that. And then all I'm going to do is attach this to my Night of Navy base, 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it at 4 1/4. Just like that. And here we have a simple, classy looking card ready to send to anybody. You could build your flower with the tulip. You could use it even with this one, but I think you would have to either hand cut it and pop it up, or you'd have to have a little bit wider piece of basic white paper if you wanted to. But best day ever. Lots of great sentiments. I really like that. And you are perfectly unique. True for all of us. Let me show you the 2 other cards that I made with this suite. I first of all made this. It's a fancy fold card. It's a fancy fold card that is not that difficult to make, but we'll be making it in the card class. This is the Just Jade color. What I did was, instead of scoring it's almost like a gatefold card, you'll see. So I scored it. It's an 11-inch piece of paper, 4 1/4 by 11 inches. I scored it at 2 3/4. Flipped it, scored it at 2 3/4. You can do the math if you want, but it's easier to just flip it. And then I've got my 4 by 5 1/4 inch. This is my inside. There's that really cute flower. And this is one of the color and contour dies. And I just used this as my flap. Best day ever. Isn't that just a great card? So happy, so cheerful. So this is the second card in a class that I'll be doing down the road. And here's my third card. And like I said, this one I hand cut, didn't take me any time at all. These are the stems using our fabulous border punch here. You could use it as a border punch or just use it for the stems. Added another stem at the bottom. This is another one from the Color and Contour dies. Hey Friend. Just like I did right there. I didn't realize I did that twice. Here's just a little accent because I did the Flirty Flamingo here. This is the Flirty Flamingo ribbon. That's part of the suite. And we've got the bumblebee. What I did here, this is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of the same color cardstock as I have on my base, but I put this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I've got the Forever Fern narrow embossing folders. I just ran that through here because it looks very similar to the paper, the same kind of pattern, the leaves. So I really liked that, and it was just a nice design. So there you go, 3 cards. I'll be making a 4th card to go with this, and you've got a fabulous class showing the Sweet Symmetry suite. I hope you enjoyed today. Thank you for joining me. If you want other ideas of cards that we're making, look for me on Facebook or YouTube, Jeannie Nielsen, the Card Lady. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day.